Hi guys, my name is Hamidi. I've created this channel, IT Basic Course, for anyone who is interested in the field of IT but no experience, no technical experience, and without any courses, like no certification. So I'll just cover the basics of IT, anybody who wants to get in the field of IT. So this will be very helpful. I'll provide you guys with the resources. I'm working in this field. I've been in this field for many years. So it's all free. I'll also add these PowerPoints in the comments so you guys can just take a look on it later on. So I'll address like how to start like an entry-level job. I'll show you guys like the pictures of the parts that are used and also explain about them. And if you guys have any questions, you can just put it on the comments. So we can just start like about the course, what the course will cover. So welcome to this course. So the areas that I'm gonna address is hardware, basically the computer hardware or the server hardware. So we'll also address software, firmware, networking, and some security related topics. So the purpose of this course would be the basics. So anyone who has like no experience, no knowledge of ID, so I will just cover the basics. So you don't have to do a certification, you don't have to get a degree, you don't have to have an experience. So you can start like with IT. So I'll also work with you guys to build up your resume and also do some projects so you can just like apply for an entry-level job in IT. So now we'll see like what kind of jobs you guys can apply after like learning these basics. So for the job market, the most common one is IT help desk. You guys can do these other fields are also like similar, like technical support specialist, desktop support technician, network technician. It's similar, but you have to have more knowledge of networking. IT technician, field service technician. Also for the internships, you guys can apply for that one too. Service desk analyst, a little bit more experience. And then I'll just also talk a little bit more about like if you want to get more in depth, like cloud engineering or IT support engineer or developer, if you want to be like, if you want to just build up the career like further steps. So we'll cover that more in the future videos. For the training, I'll start with the hardware. So that's something very basic. So the foundation is very important that you have to learn from very basics. The hardware is the physical components of a computer, basically. When you hear a server, a host, it's basically the same thing. A computer is serving other computers. So, but that's in very simple terms. Then we'll also cover like some of the software, the operating systems that run the hardware. I will also cover like troubleshooting, like some of the basic troubleshooting and installation, like how to install like Windows, which is easier one. Also, I'll cover some topics about Linux, and we'll go in types of hardware from very scratch, like keyboard, mouse. These are the input devices. Output devices like monitor or printer. For storage that we can save data is hard disk drive, SSD. For processing units, CPU, GPU. So we'll go more like, and I'll show you guys like the pictures too. Now for the system software. So as we spoke, like the operating systems, Windows is an operating system. So most of the time we use Windows, but like if you get a job like in data center, I work as a tech in data center. It's more like the Linux servers. So and we have like Mac operating system too. And then we'll just cover some of the basics on applications. So you can just like, even if you're not working in the field, it's good to get more familiar like with the Microsoft, like Word, Excel, and do some PowerPoint too. So these are some of the examples of the hardware components. It's easier just to learn it from the pictures too. So we have over here like the power supply. We have this dongle. So I'll cover like what they are, they're like network card. So this one is a motherboard. So this is basically for the CPU. These are for the RAM. So we'll just go more in depth. So this one is like central processing unit CPU. This is RAM stick. So that's random access memory. And these are all storage drivers. So like we said, hard disk drive and SSDs, we'll go in depth with them. This one is a fan. So these are some of the parts that are inside the computer that when we are working on them inside that one, if you open them up, so these are the parts. So we'll just work also like when something goes wrong, like how to troubleshoot them. So in the IT field and the work environment, so these are some of the basic like about the safety equipment, eye protection, basically hearing protection if you're working the data centers as IT tech. I'm using these ones, cat resistant gloves, composite shoes. So one of the most common like Phillips screwdriver, that's gonna be your friend. So in this video, so just for a starting video, what we covered was like the basics. So this course is going to be for the basics. Anybody who's interested, who doesn't have any background in IT, they're interested in the IT field, or they just want to learn about like computers. So this is the right place for you. So there's like, it's all free. We're going to cover more about that. We talked about like the general information about the software, hardware. We also have like firmware. So I'll keep it for the next videos. So we'll just talk about what firmware is. Uh, just talked about like job markets. There's a lot of jobs in IT and you don't need a degree for it. Some details on about software and hardware. We'll go more in depth about that one. So if you guys have like any questions, like you guys can just comment. So any questions you guys put in the comments, so I'll just like address them in the next video. We'll cover more topics. So thank you guys. Thank you very much for listening to me. Support my channels. I'm just starting this one. And thank you very much.